Wukusu, Peace, Black Power, and welcome to Harlem Liberation School's YouTube channel. Harlem Liberation School is a black nationalist, Pan-African community organization based in Harlem. We provide relevant and credible political education to help black people wake up, clean up, and stand up, in the words of Brother Malcolm X. To do this, we provide panel discussions, political commentary, mini documentaries, leadership tips, classes, and interviews with some of our most dedicated and effective leaders, activists, and intellectuals around the world. The concept of Wukusu is very important to us and central to our mission. It is our greeting, our motto, and our guiding philosophy. Wukusu is an acronym for the phrase,
Wake up, clean up, stand up.
Wake up means developing black nationalist and Pan-African consciousness. Clean up tells us to identify and eliminate our self-defeating behavior that gets in the way of us being our highest selves. Stand up compels us to use our gifts and our resources to exert leadership in our communities to help liberate our people. We humbly ask you to subscribe to our channel so we can reach more people. We encourage you to like, share, and comment on our videos, and we invite you to donate to our work either through sending us a super chat here on YouTube or by sending donations through Cash App to $TRUSELF143. Now, let's build. Peace and Black Power families, Brother IJ Taimba from Harlem Liberation School, where we teach black people to wake up, clean up, and stand up, in the words of Brother Malcolm X. I know y'all are tired of hearing me say that, but it's our tagline and it's an important one, so we got to keep reinforcing it, right? Family, I hope that you have been staying in the loop with respect to Harlem Liberation School Online. We've had a number of very powerful, insightful broadcasts. Just yesterday, we had our good brother Haru Ofari Atta, a Ghanaian-born brother, but moved over to the United States. He's much younger. He's a lawyer. He's done bioscience. I mean, he got his own line of herbs, and he's pretty much a doctor without their certification of him being a doctor. And he just broke down a lot of key things about our health and how to get our health back on track. And one of the key things that is sugar is enemy number one. But that's for another time. Also, we've had a community empowerment series that is bigging up our sisters. There's some Negroes running around here that lost their mind. They think that every problem that the black community has comes from black women. And I don't know how I don't know what type of sociology or the surveys they've been doing or studying. But we know, those of us who know our community, know that women are the backbone of our community. And they're imperfect just like we brothers are. But at the end of the day, they're the ones holding down the home. They're the ones that's been holding down the spiritual faith centers and certainly our political organizations. So the Community Empowerment Series is designed to highlight black women who are living, who are doing very important work on behalf of our community, to show them that we love them, we see them, we appreciate them, and also to challenge the narrative that black women ain't you know what. We're not doing that here. We don't do that. We upholding the sisters. Even as we argue, we beef, and we go through what we go through, we still gonna have our sisters back no matter what. They get the sister in the morning, they get the black man at night. Trust and know that, family. We're a unit. Having said that, we have also a very, very special family member. I don't consider him a guest, because if he was over at my house, I'd be like, man, I ain't getting you nothing. You go ahead to the fridge. You know how you tell your cousin, man, you ain't no guest. You go get something from the fridge. Brother Knowledge Bon Allah is no newbie to consciousness, activism, um, or journalism. I consider him one of our top, I call guerrilla journalists. Guerrilla meaning he's asymmetrical. He doesn't fit into the orthodox, and be high. He's just so and so from ABC News. He's not that type of brother. But if you look at the work he does, the people, the movements, the initiatives that he highlights, it's clear where his politics lie, right? And so we know that his Due to Knowledge Radio is getting mad views, as it should. He's highlighting our radical revolutionary hip hop. He's in touch with the culture. He's just really an all-around Pan-African nationalist type of brother, at least from my vantage point. I don't know if he would classify himself that way, but from what I see, that's the kind of ideology within which he would fit. He has done a an ebook series called Voices of the Diaspora. He has a number of volumes, I think 8 in total, and he has big things he wants to do. He wants to take that from the book stage to kind of a web series stage. But we have him here tonight. He's been here maybe a couple other times. He has a new volume in that series that we're going to be talking about today. Power of the Black Family. Without further ado, we bring our good brother on. Brother Knowledge Bonala, how you be?
Peace to my brother, Baba Ajay Tayimba, and peace to one of the greatest and most prolific pro-black platforms in the world, Harlem Liberation School, a space where we seek truth and truth seeks after us. So I'm honored to be here with you, honest to you, honest to your queen, honest to your family. Always glad and honored to be here with you, my brother.
Hey man, definitely the feelings are absolutely mutual, man. And so let us start with this. For those who missed, because you've been on before talking about this, we have a GoFundMe for my brother that I need to get the link to and put up as well. But tell us about your Voices of the Diaspora series in general.
Well, that's an excellent question. You know, Bob always got some excellent questions. Again, you being an author, you being a scholar and an educator, you know, one of your jobs is primarily to facilitate critical thinking and independent thought, and you do it very well. So, if I was in your classroom, one of the things we do is we would read, and I would say, "Hey, you know, Baba Ajay, you know, I read all of the chapters," and then you say, "Hey, well, let me ask you a couple of questions about it." So you want to assess my ability to be able to have retainability, and not only retainability but comprehension. So in these environments, that environment would be education and training because you're an educator, right? And you facilitate a training environment for space repetition to lead to comprehension through mastery. But our educational environment that we send our children to, you know, that mental plantation, that mental cemetery is presenting this like work. So when they look at reading, they look at reading like you worked in a factory, like you worked in a manufacturing plant or
Hmm.
worked in, you know, a third party logistics environment. So you go to the plant, you put in your shift hours, you get a lunch break, and you go back to shift, and then you work until you out of there. So by the time the work day slash school day is over, our children are drained. They haven't been properly nourished mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or physically, and they have a devolution. So by the time you see them and they home, they tired. You like tired. You know, you ain't been doing nothing all day. You get to falling into that mentality that you forgot that when you work your 8, 10, 12, 16, 18 hour shift, you exhausted when you get home too. You need to decompress, all of that. So learning is supposed to spark something in your mind when you're excited. You can't wait to come home and say, "Oh, hey, I learned this today. I learned that today." It's the opposite, is what we're finding. So, what study that diaspora was aimed and geared to reinvigorate that spark of supreme divine black intelligence, to reawaken the spark of the African mind, so we can wake up, clean up, and stand up. It can go from a mantra to a movement to a lifestyle to a forever. So when you look and learn about yourself, it should excite you. It should allow you to critically think. So you can have both sides of your brain spark. You can have the spark of divine intelligence that makes you want to learn more, but it also to see yourself in a higher light. So in that space, you know, we're providing an opportunity through these artful means to be able to deduce these things that are important based off the nation that we need to build. So whether we're talking about entrepreneurship, that's volume one. What's something that you have in your mind, your dream, your goal, your aim, your objective, and how do you bring that into light? And then how do you bring that into form and into being from a cultural perspective? And then how do you receive return on that investment? Volume two. Uh, I heard you talking about our sisters, right? A nation could rise no higher than its woman. So I don't know how in the world we could come out of the wombs of these women and they nurture us and nurse us, and then we get of age where we become self sufficient and independent and go to war with them and expect to win. So we really have this thing sort of backwards, and it's only backwards as long as we allow it to be backwards. There are influences, external and internal, and traumas and situations that we have to work through. But there's no way in the world that the healer that facilitated and gave you life and mothered you into existence could have something in your mind where you think that this is okay for you to participate in this. Because they're not talking about their women. They got us talking about our women. We're not talking about any other women. We're talking about our mothers. We're talking about our sisters. We're talking about our cousins. We're talking about our nieces. We're talking about our daughters. We're talking about our grandmothers, our great grandmothers. We're talking about that God made manifest in the physical form that facilitates life, that multiplies with life in the most disregarded manner. So if we got wake up, clean up, and stand up from Al Hajj Malik Al Shabazz, brother Wali, affectionately known in the world as Minister Malcolm X, peace and blessings be upon him. We also got that the most unprotected and despised woman is the black woman. That's the first part. So we have to make the first part and the second part of his statement true, that it should go out to the world that we will destroy you behind our woman. We will destroy you. We will take you off the planet behind our woman. You understand? So there's no way we're going to get any sort of standing in the world without that space where we're facilitating sacred and solemn spaces of protection for our women against the world. Against the world. This is where our future comes from. Our past, present, and future comes from. So we are the vanguards or the vanguards, and we're not facilitating safe spaces for our elderly, our peer group, uh, our women, our children, and our ancestors yet to come. How can we, with a surety, think that we have a future? So, Volume 2 is dedicated to the renewal and reformation of Black women in totality. So, uh, Volume 3 and 4 builds off of Volume 2 with the seeds of supplanting in the minds of our revolutionaries who they need to stand up for, who they need to look and protect and honor, and how these things come into existence in regards to that. So, Volume 3 and 4 are dedicated to the revolutionary thoughts and ideologies of our glorious past to build our glorious present and future. Volume 5 is the sustainability volume. So all of that ideology that I just espoused in that few seconds ago means nothing if we don't create sustainable institutions mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. So for the scientists, for the technologists, for the engineers, for the arts and the agriculturalists, and for the mathematicians, we have an environment dedicated to their genius. Everybody can't be an athlete, brother Ajay. Everybody can't be a daggone entertainer. You understand that the shucking and driving and all that? Everybody can't do that. Somebody has to build something. We have to go
That's
beyond
right. Say it again. That's right.
uh, theory alone and rhetoric to building institutions. So I just saw something earlier today that they said that the trade industry with the craftsmen, craftswomen is at a deficit, and they need 500,000 skilled laborers to make up the shortage and the deficit between now and 2030. Why aren't we talking about carpentry? Why aren't we talking about electricians, plumbing, all of those things? They have shortages in all these departments. And you know the audacity that they would do the double talk like that, Baba Aj, they would do that, and then they just told you they shut down Job Corps. So that means that there's a need for those who have the labor skill sets to be able to open up their institutions to be able to take those people in, because they won't say where they went after they kick them out of Job Corps. They won't say. You understand what I'm saying? They won't say. So there's a need there. And then the largest institution for you to learn a trade or a skill is closed simultaneously. Don't think that that's not by design. So if their architects are drawing up their blueprints for our degradation and destruction, where are our architects to draw up the designs and the architectural plans for our liberation? Where are our liberation architects? You understand what I'm saying? What did the Bible say? Where's the revolutionaries when the revolution needs some shots? You understand what I'm saying? Like, so that's volume 5. And volume 6 goes from that aspect of the mind, the analytical aspect, to the creative aspect of the mind. So the creative aspect of the mind in volume 6, and I see my brother Jay Black in the building, this, the cinematic mind, to be able to tell our stories, to document our stories in a way that is appealing. They say every story is a love story. And if that's true, how do they make you fall in love with your enslavers? How do they make you fall in love with your captors? How do you love them and hate yourself? Well, in that volume, I talk about Birth of a Nation, D.W. Griffin's film. And the job and the goal of D.W. Griffin was to demonize the black family and to humanize and elevate our enemies, the white power structure. Y'all call them people, y'all might call them families. I don't call them nothing. You understand? So there's a psychological detriment and deficit of humanizing your enemy. We got colloquial terms that we use to describe each other that we get from them. And in that practical sense, it serves two functions. From a socioeconomic space, it's used as something that appears harmless. From a militaristic sense, it's approach for you to be dehumanized. They say Viet
Knowledge.
Cong. Go ahead.
Before you continue, I see you have a presentation up. Do you want me to show that while you're talking?
No, not yet, not yet. Let me
Okay.
finish this point, and then like that's the next book we're going to, right? So volume 6, dealing with the colloquialisms. Baba, you and I, we ain't necessarily fight a couple of rounds, but we critically analyze the power of the N word and the B word. And one of the questions you asked, if we took that away, would our conditions change? Our grandchildren, great grandchildren, and great great grandchildren are dubbed YNs based off of this thing that seems like it's harmless. So they're young N words before they're even born now. So if this becomes popularized and we allow this to continue, we're typecasting our ancestral generations with the same word. You understand what I'm saying? So the psychological detriment of humanizing our enemy, we call them Becky and Karen and all that, and they call us the N-word. You understand what I'm saying? So if you look at, the Irish, they call them mix. If you looked at the Viet Cong, the Vietnamese people, they call them Charlie. They call them Viet Cong. The Middle Eastern folks, they call them Haji. They don't call them human. They're not human to them because you can't destroy a human life, but you can take out an insurgent. You can take out a terrorist. You understand what I'm saying? So the psychological detriment that comes along with the humanizing of our enemy is that we dehumanize ourselves. So if everybody's an N word and everybody's a B word, then there's no life associated with that. That's where you go to steal life. This is where you go to take life. This is not where you go to bring life. So the urge of the proper propagandist is to show us in a light. So when we look at Gordon Parks' duty and responsibility, peace and blessings be upon him, was to create imagery that show black people in a righteous light. So our propagandists are just as important as our revolutionaries. So the propagandists, how are they employing their creative techniques to be able to tell our stories in the likeness so young black people don't think they need to be walking around with shiesty mask on and dresses. We have to be mindful of the psychological detriment of eroding this and thinking that this is okay because we're supposed to be knowing the difference between uh, real and falsehood. If your unconscious mind and your subconscious mind can't distinguish, you have a hard time seeing what's what. So in this content creation space, if everything is supposed to be content, then that means everything is supposed to be capital and everything is supposed to be for sale. So volume 6 deals with reclaiming our narrative and bringing these things back into view. And uh, 7 and 8, I'll talk about them on another day. But all of that leads me to this point right here, Baba, with this newest volume, The Power of Black Family. So if we could share that right now, because I know we on a timeline. Did you have an additional question before we got into the volume, Baba?
Always, my brother. I always got questions. I'm the host. Listen. So one of the questions is, I noticed that all of these books are in ebook format. They're a special type of ebook format. But I'm curious if you could share with the audience, why did you choose the ebook format? Because that's very important. When people see it, they'll probably understand. But why did you choose an ebook book format rather than a conventional book format?
Books are heavy, Baba. You know what I'm saying? Books are heavy. You know, you lugging around 57 books in your backpack. Again, the target audience was our young people. Our young people got backpacks. You know, we were young. We had to use those brown paper bags to cover our books, right? We some of us had plastic on those books, and you know we had to preserve the book throughout the school year with the wear and tear. Even though 17 other generations before us had the same textbooks, so we had to strive our best to keep that right. So if you see this, it looks like a book and it feels like a book, but it's in your phone. The place you're gonna be looking and scrolling anyway. You're gonna be scrolling through that phone, being social with your media. So meeting them with the technology to imbue them. But as soon as they put this on, they get to see themselves and they begin to hear themselves. They get to hear lyrics that's uplifting, not lyrics that have them wanting to do harm to themselves. Because if we harm each other, we're harming ourselves. Everybody else benefits. So everybody else is benefiting from the power of Black family. So this was a goal to create a product and reintroduce the benefits from a holistic perspective of the Black family, because the Asian, the Arab, the Irish, the Italian, the Latin, you know, all of those folks benefit from the Black family being in feud. We having a family feud and ancestrally, internally and externally. We are the ops of one another, and all of our opposition is encircling us and feeding off of us in a vulturistic sort of perspective. So if we don't find value and assign value in our family, won't be no Black family. Won't be no Black family. So this volume right here in particular, we take that approach to looking back throughout the years to present day and addressing the issues concerning the Black family in a palatable form that's easy to go along with, that's illustrated properly. They got the lights, the sounds, the colors, and the pictorial images of us in a righteous light. You're on mute, Baba.
Can we take a peek into that beautiful looking book right there?
Definitely. Shout out to my brother Bomani of United Front. He's on the soundtrack. He's the soundtrack. He's the score of this journey. You know, off of his album Lamuma's Revenge. You know, his first solo project, Lamuma's Revenge, and I used Mountains of the Moon. You know, because I wanted a score that matches the propensity and intensity of the book. So, if you allow me, I'll play a little bit of it as I go through the volume.
You climbing this mountain? Because our ancestor Ake Khufu traveled thousands of miles as our ancestors took civilization from here all the way to what we call Kemet today, where the Arabs have invaded and ruled. And our ancestor Khufu and Narma, who opened the first dynastic period, said there must be a 26th dynastic period. Only way to get there is for Africans from around the world who care about our people, who hate our enemies, are willing to kill and destroy. To get there, they got to climb this mountain and go back to their ancestors. So we got to go.
We with you, brother. Sitting at the foothills of the mountains of the moon, staring at the horizon, the war is coming soon. Sitting, thinking and contemplating about black power moves. Still gotta take the time to watch the flowers bloom while you saving up dough. Trying to buy a car, I'm investing in gold bars and trying to buy a farm. The elder barber told me you can never be a man if you can't grow your own food, so buy your own land. I'm building my own home with my own hands, buying an arsenal to supply the whole.
But as long as you're running around here wearing the white man's name.
Hey, Baba, as long as you run around here wearing the white man's thing. I had to slide that in there real quick. Oh, man. So,
fam, I'm going back to the motherland, reconnect with the brothers and bring the blocker that's struck to cracking like rubber bands. I'm in Uganda in the city of Kampala, talking black economics and how to make $1 million. Made it to the top of the mountain and saw the landscape and shaking with my words because I'm firm just like a handshake. Trackers want to try to stop the movement like a handbrake. It's the ancestral spirits that gave this man strength. African insurrection music, united front is the vanguard of the movement. Yeah, my ancestral spirits talk to me.
oh, Baba, who that? Who that on the screen, Baba?
I recognize two of those people for sure.
Hey, when we start
Pretty
talking about
lady
family,
right
we
there.
got to show our family. You understand what I'm saying? We got to show our family. These are our family members. You know what I'm saying? That's the J clan right there. That's the Behudet clan. That's Olu and his family. You understand what I'm saying? And we got Bob and Mama right here. You understand? So, you know, we can do a great job looking outward and neglecting what's inward, honoring our people who there with us, who stand with us, who stand for us. You know, you understand what I'm saying? Like, these are family members. These are people I know and love. You understand what I'm saying? So when we start looking and personifying family, we need to see our imagery. So we're going through this digital photo album and invigorating the spark of black family, those who walk it and talk it and those who live it. So, you know, I had to give y'all a quick shout out. And Bobby, I don't know if you knew you was up in that joint, but you know, hey, surprise. Okay, there we go. You know, there we go.
Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it.
So yeah, this is the volume.
Beautiful.
The imagery is important. You know, we can't have our children playing with white dolls and think they're gonna solve black problems.
That's right. That's right.
So,
talking to me. My ancestral spirits is talking to me. My ancestral spirits is talking to me.
The resurrection of African people. Yes, sir. Of the 26th dynastic period. Yes, sir. The extermination of the white race. Yes, sir. The resurrection of the Africans. Yes, sir. Nobody can stop us.
Nobody. Sitting at the top of the mountain, beating the djembe. Thinking about the brothers on the block like the Kimbe. Training deep meditation like the sensei. Rocking dashikis made out of kente.
Targeting with this book, would you say?
the ages, the young people, the young people from the ages of 7 to 26. You know, that this is something that the family can sit down. You can sit down with your family and have a real discussion, a real build. Look, I didn't go away from generational trauma. We suffer from trauma. If this is Men's Mental Health Month, then you know the brothers need to be sitting down, the sisters need to be sitting down, the families need to be sitting down and laying these things out on the table. No more family secrets.
Yes, sir.
Family secrets are killing us internally and externally. You understand? So the hell that you carry in your mind, in your heart, affects your body and affects your ecosystem, affects everything within your circle or your circumference. So I didn't shy away from it, Baba. You understand what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
the need for repair,
Very good.
the need for reconciliation begins because who you are, who you were, are, and will be is your family. It's your family. If you are not dealing with your family or honoring your family, you're honoring somebody else's family. And I promise you, all of these cycles we got within us, this emotional suppression, the cycles of mistrust, the distrust, all of that, we'll have it for ourselves and no regard for our enemies. We'll go amongst our enemies as sheep amidst the wolves. So,
Hmm.
literally working at it and, offering options to be able to reinstitute a cultural reformation in the family. We're going into the summer months, and if you're looking at your children like livestock, you were like, "Oh, they're gonna be sitting around here eating up all of my food and wasting up all my electricity." You look at them like a bill; they'll be a bill to you. But if you're not sitting down with them and seeing their thought processes and putting together a plan, you're going to fail. Your children will become your enemy. They will be the opposition that you fed them to be. So again, everybody is benefiting from the power of black family, but us. So it's time for us, as you said, Papa, wake up, clean up, and stand up.
Let's read this. Yeah, this is man. The white man in the '60s called space the final frontier.
Right,
I think for black people, the final frontier is getting our families back in shape.
right.
That's the final frontier. We done mastered. We got the education. We got money. We got financial. We got all that. What we don't got is that foundation like we used to have. We got to get that back. So this is
Agreed.
right on time. And if it ain't a 10, it's at least a 9.9. Did you catch that
Right.
rhyme there, brother?
Hey, I heard you.
Yes, sir.
So if I
I
could
like
real
that.
quick, Baba, before we ask the next question, I just
Hmm.
want us to hear a model of young African children, young black people that are here in America, that the brothers and sisters got together and invested in their well being and their upliftment. I just wanted them to be able to hear uh, this actionable space. So if I could just play this song from Volume 7,
Hmm.
we can discuss, why I chose it and everything like that. Dedicated to our black educators, like yourself, brother, and the scholars who have built institutions. So we definitely want to show them some love.
I don't hear anything, brother Knowledge.
You said, Baba, you don't hear any audio?
No.
Oh, man. Hold on. Try one more time. If you take it down and put it back up, it should be able.
Okay. Give me 1 sec.
All right, tell me if you hear the audio now. You heard it, Baba?
I don't hear anything. Hmm. No. Don't hear anything.
I just paused it just now, but you still see it on your end, right?
Yeah, we definitely still see it. And while we're here, how can people get this book and the other part volumes in your series, and how much is it? Let's get all that on the table
Okay.
now. So yeah,
Okay. Yeah. This is you can get them directly from me at do the knowledge radio at Gmail if you email me, because all of them aren't on my website as of yet. They should be up there by this weekend, but they can get it from DoNotsRadio.com volumes 1 through 6 in the ebook bundle series. But I have 10 books complete. The first 8 volumes are Voices of the Diaspora series, and 2 independent volumes. This is the one I just went through, The Power of Black Family, and also uh, a reflection from my memoir, From Nameless to Knowledge. So we're dealing with the 100 personal reflections, from my lived experience.
Brother
And I
Knowledge.
got two.
Just to be clear, before I put this up on the screen, they can get the books by either going to DoTheKnowledgeRadio.com or
Yes.
hitting you up on your Gmail, DoTheKnowledgeRadio.gmail.com.
Yeah, DoNowsRadio at gmail.com.
Okay, I'm getting ready to put that up.
Okay. Definitely. And the books are on sale. You could get all 10 of these books right now for $80 via Cash App or PayPal. Cash.app /$ knowledge born Allah, or PayPal.me / do the knowledge radio. So that's 10 volumes, all illustrated, all written, all organized, and soundtrack. So great opportunity for especially these summer months to reinvigorate the spark of self actualization in a righteous manner. So again, DoNowsRadio.com, or email me at DoNowsRadio@gmail.com, and I'll send you the books directly. If you go through PayPal or Cash App, in the note, you put your email and I send it to your email directly.
Got
Yeah,
you.
this
So I have it
it's
scrolling on the bottom.
yes,
You
it's
get all.
DOTHA, Baba. DOTHA.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And they can get all 10 for only $80, correct?
Right. Until July the 1st. After July the 1st, the price will increase. It'll be 12 books by then. So it'll be 12 books by July the 1st. I'm working on the 2 additional separate volumes. One dealing with the survival or disaster preparedness aspect from a militaristic perspective, some battle drills to work on in your home, some situational awareness techniques, and the like. And the other is a critical analysis of Black organizations. So a few Black organizations to be able to highlight and to look and to be able to put these things together. So a great opportunity for a summer curriculum, after school, before school, independent school, charter school, daycare, whatever place, whatever those circles are. If you're looking for something that's interactive, that's powerful, that you can draw curriculum from, classroom projects, ideas for your own homeschool curriculum, your homeschool co-op, whatever the case may be. These are all critical products that become very, very necessary for our well-being. I see Dr. Oya Ma'at in the building. Dr. Ma'at, I gave you a shout out in this book and in a couple of the pages what you have done with anime productions with your family and Meltrek. Let me go to that page real quick, Baba, so the family can
Shout out
see.
to Dr. Mayat in the building.
So y'all see uh, Marcus Klein School, Freedom Home Academy right there.
Yeah, shout out to Marcus Klein. Yeah.
Baba Mari Komora and Kamali Academy. So we see the family right here, right? We see our esteemed elders, Dr. Baba Baruti and Dr. Ya
Yes. Yes.
Baruti was just up here. So we got our family here giving honor to. We go real quick. Just there we go. So we got our Baba right here, the Nasua Hanin Su, and the Queen Mother of Hanin Su. We have Nasu Banu and Hamat Nasu Waret, Queen Mother Marina Turk. And we got Dr. Oya Maya and her family. You understand? So giving honor and praises due to those who are with us. So if we're not giving honor to those that are here, oftentimes, Baba, you were on the front lines for our education. You understand what I'm saying? For years. So if we don't profile and celebrate those who are amongst us, then they'll be at our enemies. They'll be thinking Plato and Socrates was somebody that was great.
Mhm.
No, Dr. Oya Mao is great. You understand? Dr. Baba Baruti is great. The Fasiu clan, Baba Imhotep and his wife Ife, they're great. So we have to reinvigorate the spark in the mind in regards to how and what we celebrate, whom we value, and what we accept for value. That's why they put their faces on the money, Baba. So you could be out in the street, biting your own leg, chewing your own arms off, trying to get a piece of that thing that's dead. You understand what I'm saying? So, again,
Yeah, wicked.
very wicked, right? So if we're talking about Nile Valley culture and Nile Valley civilization, I don't know anybody greater from a cultural perspective. That's him and his family. And their family, along with some of those other families that I showed in the other volume, they can read these glyphs. There was a big discussion talking about was the Netzah deciphered and all that other stuff. These children can read those glyphs off the wall, Baba. So there's a generation of us that can read these glyphs. They know the pyramid math and the science and how they were built because they wrote it on there. So all of this disillusion will have you thinking some aliens came from outer space to build monstrosities. They went everywhere and built them, or just those three? Come on, you understand? So
Mhm.
again, if we don't see the power of a black family in the positive, we fall from the negligent and the deficit of its removal systematically. And I put his homegoing trips right here. The pilgrimages back to Kukim Kemet tours for the last 15 years. He's been taking people back and forth to Kemet. And he wrote one of the greatest primary source research volumes of the culture, traditions, and living traditions of Nile Valley culture. By far, bar none. 600 something page volume, 600 something page volume, primarily sourced on all things Nile Valley. So we ain't got to go to no Chinese, we ain't got to go to no German, we ain't got to go to no European. We can go to an African here in America, and he raises his family, and the Nile Valley culture, tradition, and the organization is based with the goals, aims, and objectives of reinvigorating the spark righteous of the culture of the Nile Valley. So again, we got all of these tools at our disposal, Baba. We just have to see them as valuable. We have to see them more valuable than we see our enemies' death culture. We have to see our life and our life culture more important and of more value and the necessity of it than the death culture that's out here. Because we're dealing with a non-people, and a non-people is spreading sin, disease, and death, pestilence, wars, and rumors of war.
Oh yeah, that is a fact. That's good. That's good. I want to just remember because we're coming to a close
Yeah.
soon. I want to just remind everyone of the critical information. Brother Knowledge Born Allah, good brother, one of our guerrilla social media journalists right here. Um, is he has a whole series of ebooks called Voices of the Diaspora, and of course, there's different volumes. I believe there'll be up to 12 in a few months. You said right?
Well, it's a 10-volume set, but I have 4 independent books. So by July 1st, it'll be 4 independent books in addition to the 10-volume set. So I have 8 volumes 1 through 8 available, and these 4 independent books. So it'll be 14 in total because 9 and 10 are dedicated to Do the Knowledge Radio. So everybody that I didn't get a chance to highlight in the series, I have 4,000 episodes that you know, Baba. 4,000 episodes, 10 years in existence. So, each of these chapters will be dedicated to some of the prolific guests. You called them family
Hold
members
on,
earlier.
brother.
I might
I
have to
gotta
I might
stop
have to
you right
borrow
there.
that. I might have to borrow
I
that. You
gotta
know what I'm
stop
saying?
you. First of all, if y'all missed it, the brother said he got 4,000 videos. So let's just stop there, right?
Well,
Because
4,000 episodes. All of them
episodes,
are in video. Yeah.
the point of this is there's a body of work. If we want to
Right.
make impressions on people, it ain't gonna be just what we say. We have to leave something that they can
Right.
go so that they're not dependent on me being here, or Brother
Right.
Knowledge Born Allah, or Dr. Mayat with her animation series. These are things that will go on whether she's here or not. So it's important we think like the ancient Kemetic brothers and sisters who left monuments. I'm trying to get our people to see that. Don't measure things by just being busy. What are we leaving so that people can learn even if we're not on the planet anymore? Right? That's why we can talk about a Medu Neter because our ancestors thought to say, you know what? One day we won't be here. And people may
Right.
try to rewrite our history. And people may say that we didn't do all this. So what? You can go there and you can see the body of work. It's very important we teach our kids, our adults, and political education. Whatever you say you believe in, whatever's important to you, create a body of work around it.
Right.
You'll be known by your fruit. All the scriptures say it. Your fruit, your work, however you want to say it. And so
Right.
when you hear this brother say he got 4,000 of anything, that's good. That's amazing. And that's something that we should all emulate. Baba Baruti, we just had on Mama Ya the other day. This brother done wrote about 30 something books, man. I mean, like, so whether
Yes.
he's here or not, boom, we got that. So I want to really impress that. And you're right in line with that, brother. You're creating this body of work. Yes, it'll make you some money. Yes, it'll give you some degree of some props. But if you're the brother I know you to be, you're also thinking, man, I got to put something here
Yes.
because I won't be in the physical plane forever. So I'm gonna put something here so that you live on infinitely through your energy and work you put in. That's very important. Very, very important. Our kids are still studying about Socrates and Hippocrates and all these
Right.
people from thousands of years ago because even though they were devils and they were wicked, they left monuments. They left something here that people could read. Now, many of those things were stolen from us, but that's very important. I want to make sure we get that. I also want to say this. You see a ticker going by. It says you can get all of these beautiful ebooks. There's 10 volumes in all for $80. You're saying, okay, well, where do I send it? Above that, it says, get these books at dotheknowledgeradio.com or dotheknowledgeradio@gmail.com. So in that case, you would email Good Brother Knowledge. I want these many books. These are the ones I want. He to get back to you, tell you what you got to do. You would send them
Right.
cash or whatever thing he sets up. He will communicate with you through email. So there's no excuse for you to leave this program and say, I like the book you showed, but how do I get it? How much do they cost? That's the information right there. If there's any other questions, hit brother up on that email and definitely go to his website. They're both easy to remember. They're both Do the Knowledge Radio, but one is the website.com, one is his email.gmail. So make sure if you're interested, you hit him up. And I while I'm here, I believe there's a few people on here who have donated money to our brother's GoFundMe. We Harlem Liberation School created a GoFundMe campaign to help the brother to generate a lump sum of money, and it needs more of a kickstart. So I also want to put that up so that you can also, you may say, I want to get some books and I want to donate. So let me just put that up too while we at it. It's scrolling on the bottom. Okay. You can also just go to GoFundMe and type in Voices of the Diaspora and it'll come right up. Support our brother. Brother Knowledge Born Allah. Is there anything else, man, you want to say you didn't get to say?
Well, I want to thank you, Baba. You and Mama Brenda, y'all are amazing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are the epitome of black love. I always see y'all looking fly together. Y'all are inspiration
Mm,
to the whole generation. You understand what I'm saying out here? The work you do, the work y'all do tirelessly behind the scenes, everything that y'all do to be able to create this in this fashion. I know you went from a physical to a virtual space, and I know that was a transition within itself to be able to do this in the way that you do it. Top tier, your videos are top tier, intros, everything that you have created is top tier. So I love y'all for epitomizing black love. Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, peace and blessings be upon us, said black love is a revolutionary act. We need to be
Hotep.
about
That's
business.
right. Ashe. Hotep.
Go ahead, my brother. A little sound effect I'm
Hey,
experimenting with.
look, let me tell you something, all right? You understand? Dr. Collins, peace and blessings be upon that I got on my shirt said I don't want to be nowhere where ain't no black woman. You understand?
I know
100%.
that's right.
So, yeah.
Unless, yeah, we
uh,
we don't roll down that hill.
right, right. Yeah, they can have it, you know. So
Make
straight
that
black love,
clear.
straight
Yes,
black
sir.
pride, straight black family. Okay, and that's the only way for a future. And we affirm a black life, and we have a mind frame that's in the best interest and empowerment of our people and our future. Last thing I'll say is that your story is important. Don't allow the only adaptations of black story and black life to be at the hands of those monkeys in them small hats and the Negro uh, neo-colonialists who have dresses on and all this other uh, foolishness where they think that they could cosplay something they can never be. Document your stories, share your stories, reconcile with your family. Your family is all you have. Your family is all you have. Your story is rich. Your life is important. You're here on purpose for this purpose. So take this to your political education classes. Take this to your before schools, your after schools, your daycares, your independent schools, and be about the business of black family. Be about the business of a proper black future. So that cultural lens, Dr. Rimba says the people's culture is their immune system. So when you need to build up an immunity to the atrocities that you are bombarded with by the hands of your enemy and by our own internal traumatic conflict and our insatiable thirst for our own detriment, your immune system should be able to fight off this dis-ease of your cultural misalignment. Let's get back to the space where we're no longer devouring ourselves, where we're building ourselves up and we're building ourselves up holistically towards the future. Thank you, Baba IJ. Honest to you, honest to Harlem Liberation School. And thank you for allowing me to be here.
Of course, my brother. You know that anytime you need to make an announcement, I tell the family members all the time, you don't have to just come on here with where you have a product. You can come on here if you just want to say, yo, we got an event going on and you want to promote. We're gonna soon be selling ads, but some of our family members won't have to go through that process. We'll say, man, come on and make your announcement, you know? So we want to definitely spread the word of Pan-African nationalism. And I think that your book and its title, I can't even say it's right. I can't even put it in the right words to show you how timely it is to get the power of the black family. And if our family ain't got no power, whip them into shape. If you say it ain't right, get it right. Because we going to, I think about this all the time. Did you know that more than 80% of the businesses in the United States are family-owned businesses? Hmm. I don't think we got that memo in our community. We going to everybody else and it's like, yo, we have potential if we teach them right and we do cultivate certain things. We have the ability to provide for all our needs. Technically, theoretically, it's just a matter of making it operational. But anyway, love you, good brother. Love your work. Love your productivity. You're prolific. You building that body of work, man. And that, at the end of the day, that's what's going to count when we're no longer here. That's going to count. People will go back and say, whoa, this guy, what's his name? Knowledge Born Allah. He was with this group called the 5% Nations, Gods, and Earths. And they were doing some real, look at this video. Look at the hip hop they had then. They will have actual artifacts. I don't know if we appreciate the significance of leaving books and films and all these things behind. Those are artifacts. Somebody's going to find these things one day and they'll have a record, brother, of who we were and who we were trying to become. And that's very important, right? Well, with that said, we want to thank Brother Knowledge Born Allah. You're welcome anytime, good brother. And we want to thank the family who watched. Spread the news, subscribe, and family. If you came late, go and watch it from the beginning. Some good jewels in this particular episode. Brother Najm Allah, peace and black power, family.
Peace and black power.
Yes, sir.